It's official. Ocarina of Time is finally getting a remake. It just got announced today at the Nintendo Direct. Ocarina of Time is my favorite game of all time, so I just wanted to resurrect this channel and get on the mic and make a video about it because I definitely have some thoughts. One thing that's got me excited is that this game seems to be built from the ground up. I don't think it's a one-for-one remake. I think they completely redid it. Just judging by the opening scene there, we could see Link. He is not in his green tunic at first. The room that he starts out in looks completely different. So I think, just based off this and what I've heard, this is a completely redone game, which has got me excited. And with that, I kind of want to talk about Ocarina of Time and why it's one of my favorite games of all time. Even though this is a game that's, it's not really directed, it's directed towards everybody, but, it's Nintendo, and their games are often directed towards children. This game doesn't treat you like a child at all, and I wanted to go into some of the darker elements in Ocarina of Time and how they shaped me as a youth growing up, and how this game, it might have been directed as kids, but it definitely had some borderline horror elements in the game. Probably the first time you experience this is as child Link, when you go into the graveyard, right? To get, I think, what is the Song of Sun? I think it was, where you go down into the grave, and it's just filled with re-deads, which as a kid, these things were absolutely terrifying because I had never, at this point, and this was like, 1998, I had never played a horror game. And not only that, but there were like skeletons of people just being eaten down there in the grave. The atmosphere was just unreal, something I had never experienced before. And it almost sparked my love for horror games as well. And these things were just absolutely terrifying. One gaze from them, if they looked at you, they would kind of shriek, and then they'd pause you. And then they would jump on your back and just kind of, I don't know what they were doing. It looks like they were humping you, but they're just draining the life out of you, which was interesting. But yeah, those things were just absolutely gnarly. I remember as a kid, as a young child, I was always scared to go down there unless somebody else was in the room. And so I'm kind of curious to how they're going to handle these elements in the new Ocarina of Time game that's coming out later this year. Are they going to... Well, first of all, there was actual blood in the original copies of Ocarina of Time. I know they kind of censored it out. Especially in places like the Shadow Temple and beneath the well, you would see like torture devices, with chains, and then be blood on the ground. But I'm curious to see if they're gonna keep some of these elements into the new game. I hope they do, honestly, because it added a lot of impact, and it really set the scene for places like Bottom of the Well and the Shadow Temple. And these places definitely had some really dark adult elements to them. And not only that, but we have the creature known as the Dead Hand, and this thing is absolute nightmare fuel. I think it first appears in Bottom of the Well when you go down as a kid, when you have to do the split timeline, and you first encounter this thing. That thing was terrifying. This monster, honestly, it gives like Silent Hill monsters a run for their money, and can pretty much compete with anything you've seen. It's scarier than most of the stuff that was in like even some of the more modern Resident Evil games, to be honest with you, and a lot of more modern horror games that I've played. This thing was creepy. The room that it was in was just, the wall was plastered with skulls. Looks like it was in like a catacombs type environment. And when you walked in, you would just see these dangling, like sickly white hands covered in blood just reaching out of the ground. You didn't know what they were until you let one of them grab you. And then this enormous creature that just looks, I don't know, kind of uncanny pops out, and he has a long neck and a big grinning face and red eyes. It's just terrifying. You don't really know what the thing is. Was this previously a human, or is this some kind of entity that, was derived based on the environment that it's in? But you don't really know. And it's just absolutely just terrifying, especially as a kid playing these games. And I know a lot of us were kids when, if you're my age, you were a kid when Ocarina of Time came out, and that's probably why it hit so hard. But it's going to be interesting seeing a new generation coming up experience this as well. And I have no doubt that they will, considering Ocarina of Time is I think it's the highest rated game of all time on Metacritic. So, the remake has a lot to live up to. But yeah, specifically, I'm curious to how they'll handle the re-deads and the Dead Hand. I mean, there are other enemies, but those are probably by far the two most terrifying. I want to see how they handle those and how they bring forth that horror and atmosphere into the new games. Because if I'm honest, that's probably my favorite element of Ocarina of Time, and you could also say Majora's Mask too. Is kind of these like pseudo horror elements that they incorporated into the game. I think that's brilliant. It really kicked off my love for horror, and as a modern day horror fan, I'd love to see some of that stuff make a return. Which I know, of course, it's going to because they're kind of a core part of the game. But I'm hoping they kind of ratchet it up instead of botching it and how Nintendo does. So hopefully these two enemies remain as terrifying as ever. And then we have the whole beast that is the Shadow Temple itself. I mean, the atmosphere and the dread in that dungeon is just unreal, right? There's all kinds of symbolism and mythology packed into the dungeon. It's probably my favorite dungeon in Ocarina of Time. It's that or the Spirit Temple, I think. But yeah, that one was exceptionally creepy. I mean, you just had torture devices everywhere. You had all kinds of unsettling things, all kinds of unsettling creatures. The music itself was just so good and so creepy. I can't get over. Like, even to this day, I think that dungeon had a huge impact on me. Really. I mean, when you think about it, nothing like that has been done in a Zelda game ever since. And so it's just got me all that much more curious to see how they handle this in the new one that's coming out. Yeah, I've just been so excited that I had to go ahead and resurrect this channel and bring it back from the dead. I don't know if I'm going to be doing more videos. I probably will be doing more stuff on the new Ocarina of Time remake that's coming out just because I have so much to say about it. And because it is my favorite game of all time. I mean, I've played a lot of great games in my lifetime, and I think this one definitely stands above. So yeah, more to come. If you've been subscribed all these years, I want to send a big shout out and thank you to you guys. To the new people coming onto this channel for the first time, welcome. Yeah, you can expect more. I think I am going to make more videos. So yeah, more to come on Ocarina of Time. I'll try to release another one here shortly, as a matter of fact. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button below. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.